Every time I erase my sketch, it smudges. And every time I draw something, you can see it on the other page. And my sketches are never nice, deep black, like the ones I see on social media. All of this and many more problems you might have simply come down to the fact that you are using the wrong pencil. So today I will help you pick the right pencil so we can solve all of these problems. Hi guys, I am the Voldemort of the art community because nobody calls me by my name anymore. And I'll give you a guide which pencil you should be using for your drawings, because there are differences that could make or break your artwork. Like you just saw in the intro, a lot of problems while sketching could be resolved by just switching to the right pencil. So this video will work in 3 parts. First, I will show you which pencils do what, and then I will show you which of your problems could be solved by just switching your pencil, and then I'll give you a guide on which pencil you should be using for your drawings. But first, it would be nice if you left a like on this video if you enjoy it. I make these videos all by myself, and believe me, it's a lot of work. Alright then, let's pick a pencil. Like I said. Alright, so these are the most common pencil types that you'll find in stores. I know these are a lot of letters. Looking at this is really confusing, even for me. And I'm the guy who grew up speaking this language, so you know I'm for real here. But it's a lot easier once you understand what these stand for. These grades describe how hard these pencils are. Like H pencil means these pencils are hard. And B obviously stands for soft. And then there's numbers like B1, B2, B4, and so on. This is just a scale of how hard and soft they are. If a pencil is soft, they rub off on the paper a lot, so it's very dark. If the pencil is hard, the graphite doesn't come off that easily, so it's a bit lighter. And then there's HB. It's the best of both worlds, not too dark, not too light. If all of this is a pain to you and you just want to pick some random pencil, just pick HB. You'll be fine. It's a nice all-rounder. But please subscribe before you turn off the video, please. Okay, so this is a really nice, tidy scale and it makes perfect sense. And then there's F. What the hell is F? No, it doesn't stand for very hard. F stands for fine point. That's because it has a special ability. It goes right here in the scale between HB and H, and what sets it apart from a regular H pencil is it stays sharp for a very long time. It was mostly used by architects because they didn't care about if their drawings looked pretty. It was all about having a sharp pencil so they can draw their buildings as precisely as possible without having to sharpen every 5 minutes. But to be honest, in a day and age where mechanical pencils exist, you have the option of just having something that's precise all the time. So this pencil kind of lost its job quicker than artists lose their job to AI these days. Speaking of mechanical pencils, these pencil grades also obviously go for mechanical pencils. So if you like using dark B-grade pencils, just hop in some B pencil leads and it works just as good as a regular pencil. The only difference is you don't have to sharpen it. I like using mechanical ones as well, though in this video I will keep using regular pencils because I know some of you guys don't have mechanical pencils at home. And as always, if you guys want to buy the same pencils that I'm using, I do have a whole art supply list with all of my pens, pencils, erasers, and so on. Check that one out if you need some recommendations on art supplies. But wait, which of these should I use now? What if I use the wrong pencil grades for my artwork? Well, let's take a look at what happens then. Okay, now, these are the most common problems people have with their pencils. Problem number 1, my drawing always smudges. Lots of people think that's because of your paper, but it's actually because of your pencil. Remember, B stands for soft. So the softer your pencil is, the easier it is to smudge it while drawing. If that's something that happens to you a lot, try something less soft, like HB for example. I personally sketch most of my artworks with HB, and that's also the same hardness I use for my mechanical pencil. Number 2, whenever I draw, my drawings appear on the other page. Now this is the exact opposite problem. When your pencil is too hard, it actually edges your drawing into the paper. So even if you erase the graphite of your pencil, the edgings will still remain. And it makes total sense, because you're drawing a line with the H pencil, you maybe realize it's not dark enough, so then you apply more pressure because you want it darker. So yeah, don't do that. Use a darker pencil. Problem number 3, your art looks really detailed while mine doesn't. On the surface level, you might think that's obviously because your pencil isn't sharpened. Sharpened pencil, not sharpened pencil. So what's the big deal? But that's not the whole story. Remember, B pencils are very soft, so they get blunt very quickly, maybe even without you noticing. So if this happens to you a lot, maybe just think about getting a mechanical pencil, because it always stays sharp all the time. Or just sharpen your pencil, god damn it! Problem number 4, other sketches look rich and black, while my sketches look way too light. In this case, again, you are way too hard in order... Okay. Your pencil is way too hard for it to look nice and black. Remember the graph from the beginning? If you want dark lines, you need to go softer. You could maybe try redrawing your lines with a darker pencil, but in that case, you might as well just use a liner for that. Problem number 5, when I erase my drawing, it completely smudges. Okay, first of all, it should be clear that using an eraser on your 12-cent pencil that you got from Walmart isn't gonna work as good as an actual eraser. But yeah, other than that, erasing lines that are drawn with a very soft pencil like B3 or B4 is an absolute pain. That's why you don't use it for sketching, because you can't erase it anymore. Only use it for finishing touches like shading, etc. Problem number 6, my drawings never look as nicely shaded as the ones that I see online. Mine always look like this. To be clear, an H pencil is designed to be precise and crisp. Working like this is something you at least need H before, but I would prefer B and softer to be honest. Alright, let's pick a pencil for you. First of all, in case of doubt, HB is always a good choice. It's the best of both worlds and works in most cases. Not perfect, but you can't go very wrong here. But if you want to be a bit more professional, you could utilize the power of all 3, and I'll show you how to work with these. First, you could start your basic sketch. For that, you are using an H pencil. That is because it will A, be easier to erase, and B, it's so light in comparison to the other grades that this basic sketch won't be very visible later on. As long as you use an H pencil, you can still easily correct a lot and don't need to stress. After that, you could head over to HB, so your more detailed sketch is more visible than the rough shapes you scribbled in the beginning, because HB is a bit darker. That way you can better tell your rough sketch and your detailed sketch apart. However, if you are still a bit unsure about your drawings and you know you will need to erase a lot, you could just stick to H because it will be easier to erase. At this point, a lot of artists ink their sketches, and that's totally fine. But if you are just like me, also like the look of something sketched without any ink, you could just use your B pencil to darken your lines instead of a liner. So add some shading, give your drawing some nice contrast. Just make sure you don't have to erase a lot, because at this point, erasing B-grade pencils is an absolute pain. Also, at this point, I wanted to have some really nice black shadows here. So for completely black shadows, I'm using B2 additionally. You can skip this step, but I think black values always really add a nice contrast to your artwork. So yeah, this is how you would use all 3 pencil grades. You could just do all of that with HB, but especially if you're a beginner, working like this makes your life a whole lot easier, at least with bigger elaborate artworks. And if you would like to start inking your art, good news, because I already did make videos about that topic. Thanks for watching, see you guys next time.